Street in North Rapid City. And other witnesses there said the man had pointed the gun at buildings and people before going into an apartment.
Responding officers attempted to make contact with the individual that had the gun. We're trying to talk to him through a window and started negotiations, trying to create a line of dialogue. They also, while they were communicating with other officers, were talking about bringing up less lethal options, our less lethal beanbag gun, for example. And at some point during this altercation, the man pointed a gun through a window at a police officer. The police officer fired at the individual that was holding the gun, pointing it at him. I'm being told one round was fired.
The man was taken to the hospital but died due to his injuries. And the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation has taken over the case, which is normal when a police officer is involved in a shooting. Any additional information will come from the DCI, and the man's name has not yet been released at this point. Well, South Dakota Secretary of State says a software disruption caused some delays for voters statewide today. The Secretary called the problem a temporary technical issue with the voter check-in system due to Microsoft service disruption. Officials say the problem was quickly resolved, and they also emphasized the glitch is in no way impacting any way they're processing the votes and that ballots are secured until Election Day. Voters will still be able to cast their ballots. Now we're going to send it over to meteorologist Per Lundquist for our first look at our forecast. What do you got, Per?
It's November now, so that's pretty fun. Things again. Time's moving by pretty quickly. Well, things are actually starting to look like November. Our average high for today is 53 degrees, and right now at the airport's sitting at 51 right now. That wasn't the highest we hit today. Things are starting to cool off now that we're going into the evening, but that is much better than we have been seeing, and that's going to be kind of the case going forward. Across the board, seeing rather average temps for this time of year and this time of day. Things are going to be cooling down as we go into the evening hours, but mainly 50s here in South Dakota with a little bit cooler temperatures over in Wyoming area. Now, not really seeing anything in terms of radar reflectivity, no rain showers coming through the area right now. It's been pretty dry, but humidity is a lot better than we have been seeing it. But if we look to the broader United States, if we go look at the West Coast, there's those showers that we saw the other day petering out into the area. They've been kind of dying off from there on out, but now we're seeing this big trough come through. It's this big frontal system. It's going to bring a little bit of action to our area. Now, most of that action is happening on the Pacific Northwest, and as it comes over the Rockies, going to get a bit of a rain shower effect, so we aren't going to see too much, but it is something. We're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. Aaron.
With the Black Hills deer hunting season starting today, it's important to remember how to safely hunt in the Black Hills. NewsCenter1 spoke to Pennington County Sheriffs about what to remember before going out on your hunts. The Black Hills are known for great hunting, and they're also known for their rugged terrain. So in case you get lost, it's important for someone to be with you, or at the very least have somebody know where you are.
We always recommend that if you're going to go out hunting, especially in the Black Hills, that you take a friend or a partner with you. Just in case something happens, you have somebody that can call for you or go get help. It's just one of those safety factors. And if you do decide to go out by yourself, we always stress that you tell somebody where you're going to be hunting, when you're leaving, and when you're supposed to be coming back.
With that rugged terrain, anyone going out hunting needs to plan how to navigate, even if your phone stops working.
And the other thing, too, that we like to talk about is how you navigate when you're hunting. So a lot of people use your cell phone, just like the one I have right here, and you can have different apps on there that you use to navigate, which is what most hunters use. I use it myself. But if your cell phone breaks, if it gets wet, the battery goes dead, then you don't have that navigation anymore. That's why we recommend in your backpack you have one of these paper maps for redundancy for navigational purposes.
If you do end up getting lost without service in the forest, there are ways to try and find service.
So if you do find yourself lost and maybe you might not have any signal on your cell phone, if you get to a high point, that might get you to a place where you can make a phone call or you can make a text to let somebody know that you're lost. And I'd also say that if you find yourself lost and you think you need help, don't wait until it's dark. If you can call us when it's light and we can get started early, it's much easier for us to find you.
If you have any plans of going hunting, Captain Craig Wood says you should remember to bring an emergency kit with whatever you need if you get stuck in your car for a few days. This includes food, water, and something you can light a candle in. If you are lost, the safest bet is to just dial 911. With daylight savings time coming up this weekend, lots of people are going to be heading to work in the dark and returning in the dark as well. So it's important to remember to not forget to watch out for some people who are walking around, but also some animals as well.
Yeah, in the Black Hills, we have a huge deer population. I know that can really surprise people sometimes. Just be extra careful when you're out driving around town. Give yourself plenty of time to brake if you see a deer. The biggest thing is that if you see a deer, slow down as fast as you can. Don't swerve too hard because you might wind up in the ditch.
Sheriff's Deputy Ethan Schultz added that the terrain in the area can be steep, which mixed with some icy roads can lead to poor road conditions. So you need to make sure to keep your headlights on and slow down. Still ahead tonight, NewsCenter1 talks to Humane Society and volunteers every week. But what does it take to become a volunteer? We'll have the latest when we return.
This is NewsCenter1 with Aaron Feit, Per Lundquist, and Justin Wickersham.
Communist drones overhead. China buying up American farmland. Leading the fight, Congressman Dusty Johnson, a member of a special committee to fight China. Dusty Johnson backed legislation to stop China from buying our farmland and authored a bill to let states end investments in Chinese companies. From our ports to our prairies, Congressman Dusty Johnson will always put America first.
I'm Dusty Johnson, and I approve this message.
Get new flooring for your home during the Veterans Day sale at Floor & Home Carpet One. Save up to 65% off and get 5 years special financing. Save on waterproof luxury vinyl, hardwood, carpet, and more. Plus, get carpet cushion and professional installation for one low price. And during the Veterans Day sale, veterans and active duty military members get up to an extra 10% discount. Save up to 65% off and get 5 years special financing at Floor & Home Carpet One during the Veterans Day sale.
These are future drug addicts, future suicide victims, future victims of meth, fentanyl, and opioid abuse. This is the future with Measure 29. It had legalized drugs linked to greater drug abuse, depression, and suicide. Drugs that put impaired drivers on our roads. Too many loved ones have been lost to addiction already. If we don't say no, it'd be open season on our children. Don't put their future at risk. Vote no on Measure 29.
A love song that goes on forever, for worse and for better, we'll two-step together, and I'll hold you closer each day I go through this dance of a lifetime with you.
South Dakota's current abortion law may need to be changed, but Amendment G is not the answer. Amendment G is filled with loopholes that would allow for painful late-term abortions. It would take away a parent's right to know when their minor child seeks abortions. And Amendment G would change the requirement that abortions be performed by a licensed physician. Our laws may need to be changed, but Amendment G is too extreme.
Every week, NewsCenter1 visits the Humane Society of the Black Hills for Pet of the Week, and every week, the topic of volunteers gets brought up. But what does it take to become one? Well, NewsCenter1's Sam Johnson finds out.
What does the volunteers mean to the Humane Society?
So really, we couldn't function as a nonprofit as the Humane Society of the Black Hills without volunteers. Staff is really busy, so they're cleaning pretty much all day. We all have different jobs to do. Yeah. It's hard to get all these dogs out. I mean, you take your dog out multiple times a day. It's the same thing with these guys. They need to go out, and we couldn't possibly take care of all of them all day, all the time, without volunteers taking them out, doing walks. Walks are just as important as anything else. So this is like a huge deal. It's huge. Couldn't do it without them.
That was Cassie Reed from the Humane Society of the Black Hills. She's the organization's marketing and volunteer coordinator. I joined her one afternoon to see what it'd be like to volunteer at the shelter, starting out with how to sign up.
Every volunteer has to fill out a form and attend a volunteer orientation, which is about a 45-minute long class. So you can come here and get that all squared away, or you can do it online. So hsbh.org/ NewsCenter1.org/volunteer. You can go there, fill out the form. You can also visit the events page and choose your orientation date and just sign up by putting that date on your form. Or you can give me a call, which my number is on the website.
Sounds pretty easy, right? After explaining to me some rules, Cassie showed me to the dog walking board. This is where volunteers choose a dog to go on a walk with. Once we decided on a pup, Cassie demonstrated how to properly put on a leash, and then we went outside.
Yep, so we actually have walking areas in this fenced area and outside of it as well. So we could walk anywhere pretty much on the Humane Society property. Yeah. So this whole field back here is going to be Humane Society property as well.
Yeah. Lolly.
Lolly.
Oh, you can see another dog. I think she,
Yeah, she really likes other dogs.
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah. She's like,
so she's like, hi.
So after walking and playing with Lolly for a bit, Cassie and I went indoors to check out Kittyland.
This is kind of just where you hang out with cats.
Yeah.
That's kind of the gist of it. Hanging out with cats, letting them come to you is a big part of it.
Yeah.
If they want to come to you, they will. Sometimes we purposely put some Shire cats in here just to learn how to hang out with other cats and new people.
Besides walking and socializing with cats, Cassie says there's more opportunities for volunteering at the shelter.
They can help with cleaning kennels during the day if they want to, dishes, laundry, potentially grooming, or just dog washing, which is also not necessarily something that's very easy. So we always appreciate that. People put in a lot of time here, and it's really cool to see, and it's really amazing that they can just freely give their time like this and help out the animals, dogs, cats, other animals. So many ways to volunteer.
So if you're interested in volunteering, head over to the Humane Society's website.
Yeah, volunteering here is pretty relaxed, fairly easy. You don't have to check in ahead of time. Once you've taken your orientation class and are in our track it system, you can just come here and volunteer and walk dogs and hang out with cats and just give the animals a better time than they would get otherwise while they're in this transitional period.
In Rapid City, I'm Sam Johnson, NewsCenter1.
Coming up after the break, Perry's going to break down our full weekend forecast. Stay tuned, everyone.
Who would force a woman who's been raped or a victim of incest to give birth? What kind of monster would deny a pregnant woman proper medical care? That's exactly what the politicians in Pierre did. They passed a cruel and extreme law banning and criminalizing abortion. Tell the politicians you simply want to return to the safe and sensible law we had in America for the last 50 years.
Where does the money opposing South Dakota's Referred Law 21 come from? A left-wing New York City group, radicals who want open borders, and Jane Fonda's Climate PAC. Yeah, the same radical Jane Fonda you remember. They all oppose President Trump's plan to expand American energy. But South Dakota can lead us forward. RL 21 opens new markets for our ethanol and supports Trump's America First energy agenda. Vote yes on RL 21. Vote yes for a strong South Dakota is responsible for the content of this ad.
What would you do with $500? If you are a local area school teacher, we want to know. NewsCenter1 and First Interstate Bank have teamed up for 1+1. A program where twice a month we give away $500 to a deserving teacher with special projects or needs to help cover expenses outside their budget. From extra books to technology, 1+1 is putting educational tools into the hands of educators. To learn more or to apply to nominate a teacher, go to newscenter1.tv.
Wake up with NewsCenter1 today. News with Miranda O'Brien. And weather with Sam Johnson. Our passion is for delivering the news that impacts our community. Stay connected with a team you trust. NewsCenter1, everywhere you go.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-450-1149 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
Weather with meteorologist Per Lundquist.
Sun's setting over Rapid City right now. See this big line right across the sky, separating between night and day over there. Belt of Venus is what's that called. Little fun fact for you. Like I said earlier, we are pretty on track for average November. Now 57 degrees, that is technically above the average. So is the low, a little bit above average right now, but that does seem to be changing. And that's a lot closer to the average than we have been seeing it through October and especially September. It was real hot for September. Now, in terms of precipitation, things are looking up a little bit. Right now, not really seeing anything on Futurecast, and as we go through the rest of the weekend, really just going to see some cloud cover coming in here and there for tomorrow. But most days going to be pretty sunny, a little bit above average in terms of temperature with that sun punching through. As we go into Sunday, we get a little bit more activity, and then Sunday night, we start to see a frontal passage start to move its way through, and then over in the Bighorns. That's where they're going to benefit probably the most out of it. Getting about an inch or two of snow over there, and that might be getting a little bit more as we go into the early parts of the week. And then you can see this over here on the prairie areas like Wall, Phillip, Faith. They're all going to get a little bit of rain showers. Now, the Weather Service is toying with the idea of some thunderstorms over there. I'm not really seeing a lot of energy in this system, so I'm pretty hesitant to say that there will be thunder, but it is a possibility, so something to look out for. We aren't too concerned, though, because moisture is a lot better. And if we look around what the moisture is around the same time, 100% humidity over in Wall. Now, that is technically fog, but I'm a little hesitant on whether we're going to get fog or not. It's a possibility, but I'm kind of sticking with a low possibility of fog in the eastern portion of our forecast area. Mainly, it's probably going to be kind of like that drizzle you saw a couple days ago, where you look off into the distance and you say, oh, it's looking like it's foggy over there. Oh, maybe it's a little bit drizzly over there instead because we're getting drizzle on here. Nevertheless, still something to be concerned about because visibility will be a bit lower on the roads. Now, if we go ahead and rewind it back, we can see that right now humidities are a lot better. As we go into the evening hours tonight, things improved quite a bit, 74% humidity tonight in Rapid City. That's really good in terms of fire recovery. As we go into tomorrow, things dry out a little bit, but the lowest we really see in our forecast area, 21% over in Casey, Wyoming. Still in the 20s, still within the realm of fire danger, but a lot better than teens, single digits, stuff we saw in October and in September. Now, down in the northwestern portion of Nebraska, they're getting a little bit drier, but still a lot better than we have been seeing it. As we go through the rest of the forecast period, then that's where you start to see that frontal passage start to come through on Sunday. Lots of humidity over here in the eastern portion of our forecast area. A little bit drier over here in the western portion, but still a lot better. Looking out winds, not really seeing too much activity. We do get some southwest easterly flow as we go through Saturday, and that's going to bring all the moisture in from the Gulf to start feeding the system for this front that's going to come through and start to bring some rain over on the prairie. Maybe a couple small showers here in Rapid City, but I'm not expecting much. As we go into Sunday and that front starts to pass through, then that starts to shift and come out of the northwest. And as it does so, Futurecast is picking up on low winds right now, but I'm expecting things to get pretty breezy. Could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour on Sunday. In terms of temperatures, things are looking a lot more average. Seeing some freezing temps overnight tonight in some areas, especially up in the higher elevations, with slightly above average temperatures for tomorrow because it's going to be a bit sunnier. And then as we go into Sunday and that front comes through, boom. Now we're seeing some average temperatures, and you can see that here on the 7-day. Our average temp for this time of year is about 53 degrees. And now we're starting to see things go a little bit above, on average, below, on average, much below. This is a lot better than we have been seeing it. Just a reminder, daylight savings, that's going to be happening on Sunday. So be sure to check your clocks, change them if you need to. Well, 2024, what am I saying? Don't be surprised if your clocks change because that's going to be happening on Sunday. Tuesday, election day, but other than that, pretty average conditions. Aaron.
Well, still to come, the Minnesota Vikings look to snap a 2-game losing streak this weekend as they play the Colts. Plus, in college football, South Dakota State is gearing up to host Murray State tomorrow. Justin will have a preview coming up next in sports.
The special interest group behind IM28 says it only repeals the tax on food, but it actually repeals the tax on almost anything sold for human consumption, including tobacco products. Passing IM28 will create a huge $646 million hole in our state budget, resulting in deep cuts to education and health care, or setting us up for increased property taxes or a state income tax. IM28 is a trap. Don't take the bait. Vote no on IM28.
Tired of that pan that always sticks? It's so scratched and worn, you can't cook in it.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my new hammered pans from Gotham Steel. This complete 9-piece set is guaranteed to beautify your kitchen like never before. Hammered pans are ultra non-stick and they're even oven safe up to 500 degrees. So bake homemade chicken pot pie or this whole chicken dinner. Use metal beaters straight in the pan for a gourmet souffle that slips right out. Plus the entire set is dishwasher safe and PFOA free.
Get the full 9-piece Gotham Steel hammered set for just 5 payments of $49.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. But order now and we'll drop 1 payment. That's just 4 payments of $49.99. Plus, we'll include this free steamer and strainer and our 5-piece bakeware set with every pan you'll ever need to make delicious breads, cakes, and desserts. That's a huge 15-piece set with free shipping. Call or click now.
Call 1-800-571-3268 or go to buyhammered.com.
Amendment F. So vague and confusing, it's a disaster.
A family forced to put kids in expensive childcare to keep their health care.
A cancer patient fighting for her life, required to work during treatment.
An adult caring for elderly parents forced to report work hours to the government.
Confusing and unclear. They fall through the cracks. Too much bureaucracy. Too extreme.
No on Amendment F.
Sports with Justin Wickersham.
The South Dakota State University football team is set to begin the second half of the Missouri Valley Football Conference season tomorrow at home against Murray State. The Jackrabbits are coming off a tough win over South Dakota last Saturday, 20-17 in overtime. SDSU is now 6-2 overall and 3-1 in conference play. On the other hand, Murray State is 0-5 in league play and 1-7 overall. The Racers are the newest member of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, joining the league in 2023. So tomorrow's game will mark the first ever matchup between the Jackrabbits and the Racers. The Jackrabbits will face former South Dakota Mines quarterback Jaden Johansson, who transferred to Murray State over the summer.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of, making him a multiple threat. He's running the ball a little bit too, and they do some different things on offense. And every week it kind of seems like they scatter a good amount of new plays in or dynamic plays in that there's a lot of motioning or jetting, and they try to utilize their skill on the perimeter. And we got to do a good job of minimizing huge chunk plays.
Also in college football, South Dakota Mines will travel to Chadron to play the Eagles. Kickoff is set for noon. It's the third straight road game for the Hard Rockers. Also, Colorado Mesa will host Black Hills State. And the All-Nations football playoffs continued today. White River rolled over Omaha Nation 36-0, so the Tigers will play for a state title next Friday at the Dakota Dome in Vermilion. Meanwhile, the reigning Summit League tournament champion South Dakota State men's basketball team will play Northern Colorado at the Summit Arena in Rapid City. That game will take place on Thursday, November 14th at 7 p.m., and tickets are on sale at the Monument. The Minnesota Vikings look to get back to their winning ways when they welcome the Indianapolis Colts to town on Sunday night. The Vikings started the season with 5 straight wins before losing their last 2 to fall to third place in the tough NFC North, while the Colts have started 4-4 and look to remain in contention in the AFC South. The Football Night in America team has a preview.
All right, week 9 of Sunday Night Football brings the Vikings and the Colts, and a Vikings team that has played well, but is coming in losing 2 straight. So what do they have to do against the Colts?
Lost against Detroit, and so far, it's not good. When you lose to Detroit, you usually lose again, and losing to the Rams Thursday night. They just got to get back going. This team is a good football team. You start off hot, undefeated. You lose 2 straight. Just figure out what you need to do and keep playing good football.
And they got to get that pressure defense going again. They've been a little bit more contained the last couple weeks. Okay, stop the run, get them in those long down and distance situations, and cut them loose.
All right, we will cut it loose on NBC and Peacock as we get you set for this one. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern.
And that's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
It's Fearless Fisher's Veterans Day sale with savings in every department. Save on beautiful new furniture and appliances for your home. Get the guaranteed lowest prices in South Dakota on sofas, recliners, living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, and mattresses. Even appliances with 5 years special financing. Plus, as our way of saying thank you, veterans and active duty military members get an extra discount of up to 10% off furniture purchases. Buy new furniture, TVs, and appliances with 5 years special financing during the Veterans Day sale at all 3 Fearless Fisher stores in Rapid City. It's Fearless Fisher TVs and Appliances Veterans Day sale. Receive up to a $3,000 mail-in rebate on KitchenAid appliances. Plus, get 5 years special financing with no minimum purchase and no money down. Our expert sales team can help you find the appliances that best fit your needs at the guaranteed lowest prices in South Dakota. Many in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Save up to $3,000 on KitchenAid and buy your new appliances with 5 years special financing during the Veterans Day sale at Fearless Fisher TVs and Appliances.
Where can you go to get great local deals up to 50% off or more? ClickBigDeals.com is your destination for amazing deals on all the products and services that you use every day. Thousands of subscribers already know that Click Big Deals is the best place to click and save big in the Black Hills. From concerts and restaurants to salons and cleaning services, Click Big Deals is the ultimate deal site for great deals 50% off or more. So if you like a great deal, go to ClickBigDeals.com and start saving today.
Citizenship. It's about doing your patriotic duty, which is why only American citizens should be allowed to vote, and why every citizen should vote. That's the core principle behind Amendment H. It puts all the candidates on one primary ballot. Then, the top 2 finishers face off in November. Yes on H. Protect the right of every citizen to vote in taxpayer-funded elections. Unite America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Going to see some pretty average conditions for your first week of fall. Now, that is something to look out for. When you have average conditions for November, well, now you have freezing temperatures overnight. So be on the lookout for that. Might get some ice on the roads, especially after that rain we are supposed to get on Sunday. Not going to see much here in Rapid City, but especially on the prairie, might see maybe 1/4 of an inch. The big action's probably going to be next weekend, not here on the 7-day right now, but that's what I'm looking out for right now. Other than that, pretty cool conditions for the rest of the first week of November. Election Day is on Tuesday, so be sure to cast your ballots.
Well, that's all the news. That's all we got for News Center 1 at 5:30. We got more news and weather coming up at 6. Stay tuned, everyone.
The politicians in Pierre passed a cruel and extreme law that bans and criminalizes abortion.
A woman should not be forced to have a baby if she's been raped.
The politicians are lying about Amendment G. G allows parental consent and bans late-term abortions except to save the mother.
A family and her physician should be making reproductive decisions, not politicians in Pierre.
Vote yes for Freedom Amendment G.
Abortion is a sensitive subject, and there are lots of opinions on what to do. Some say South Dakota's law may need to be changed, but Amendment G is not the answer. Amendment G is vague and poorly written. It makes getting an abortion easier, allows for late-term abortion, and gives minors the ability to have an abortion without their parents' consent. Our current laws may need to be changed, but Amendment G is too extreme.
Having low income can mean making tough choices. Choosing between paying for food or medication or a place to live is a reality for many people. Do you know someone who could use some extra help? Find out about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI. You could receive monthly SSI payments if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. SSI is money you can use to help pay for basic needs, like putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, paying the rent. It can mean new shoes for growing feet or help with medical needs. Call 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI to schedule an appointment or start to apply today. That's ssa.gov/SSI. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is News Center 1 at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight for NewsCenter1. I'm Aaron Fight. Breaking news at this hour, an officer-involved shooting in Rapid City. Police say the incident began around noon when dispatchers received reports of a man brandishing a gun at the Pizza Hut located at Haynes Avenue and Anamosa Street. Witnesses told arriving officers the man had fled to apartments in the 1300 block of Atlas Street in North Rapid City. Other witnesses there said the man had pointed the gun at buildings and people before going into an apartment.
Responding officers attempted to make contact with the individual that had the gun. We're trying to talk to him through a window and started negotiations, trying to create a line of dialogue. They also, while they were communicating with other officers, were talking about bringing up less lethal options, or less lethal beanbag gun, for example. And at some point during this altercation, the man pointed a gun through a window at a police officer. The police officer fired at the individual that was holding the gun, pointing it at him. I'm being told one round was fired.
The man was taken to the hospital but died due to his injuries. The South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation has taken over the case, which is normal when a police officer is involved in a shooting. And any additional information will come from DCI. The man's name has not yet been released at this point. Elsewhere tonight, South Dakota Secretary of State says the software disruption caused some delays for voters statewide today. Secretary called the problem a temporary technical issue with the voter check-in system due to a Microsoft service disruption. Officials say the problem was quickly resolved, and they also emphasized that the glitch in no way impacted any processing of votes and that ballots are secured until Election Day. Voters will still be able to cast their ballots. And with the Black Hills deer season starting today, it's important to remember how to safely hunt in the Black Hills. NewsCenter1 spoke to Pennington County Sheriffs about what to remember before going out on your hunt. The Black Hills are great hunting, and they're also known for their rugged terrain. So in case you get lost, it's important for someone to be with you, or at the very least, have somebody know where you are.
We always recommend that if you're going to go out hunting, especially in the Black Hills, that you take a friend or a partner with you. Just in case something happens, you have somebody that can call for you or go get help. It's just one of those safety factors. And if you do decide to go out by yourself, we always stress that you tell somebody where you're going to be hunting, when you're leaving, and when you're supposed to be coming back.
With that rugged terrain, anyone going out hunting needs to plan how to navigate, even if your phone stops working.
And the other thing, too, that we like to talk about is how you navigate when you're hunting. So a lot of people use your cell phone, just like the one I have right here, and you can have different apps on there that you use to navigate, which is what most hunters use. I use it myself. But if your cell phone breaks, if it gets wet, the battery goes dead, then you don't have that navigation anymore. That's why we recommend in your backpack you have one of these paper maps for redundancy for navigational purposes.
If you do end up getting lost without service in the forest, there are ways to try and find service.
So if you do find yourself lost and maybe you might not have any signal on your cell phone, if you get to a high point, that might get you to a place where you can make a phone call or you can make a text to let somebody know that you're lost. And I'd also say that if you find yourself lost and you think you need help, don't wait until it's dark. If you can call us when it's light and we can get started early, it's much easier for us to find you.
If you have any plans of going hunting, Captain Craig Wood says you should remember to bring an emergency kit with whatever you need if you get stuck in your car for a few days. This includes food, water, and something you can light a candle in. If you are lost, the safest bet is to just dial 911. And with daylight savings time coming this weekend, lots of people are going to be heading to work in the dark and returning in the dark as well. So it's important to not forget to watch out for people walking around, but animals as well.
Yeah, in the Black Hills, we have a huge deer population. I know that can really surprise people sometimes. Just be extra careful when you're out driving around town. Give yourself plenty of time to brake if you see a deer. The biggest thing is if you see a deer, slow down as fast as you can. Don't swerve too hard because you might wind up in the ditch.
Sheriff's Deputy Ethan Schultz added that the terrain in the area can be steep, which mixed with some icy roads can lead to poor road conditions. So you need to make sure you're keeping your headlights on and slowing down. And still ahead tonight, there's high expectations for big box stores ahead of the holiday season, and we'll have the challenges for what this shortened holiday shopping season coming up. But first, here's Per.
Pretty quiet in our area right now, but off in the distance, got a little bit of activity coming in from the Pacific Northwest. How that's going to hit us, that's coming up.
This is NewsCenter1 with Aaron Fight and Per Lundquist.
Sometimes your dreams just can't wait any longer. You need your home to open new doors, your money to work harder. You need a new kind of freedom, or the chance to help a loved one leave the nest. At First Interstate Bank, we understand the importance of these dreams, and we can help you realize them. First Interstate Bank, built for you.
Communist drones overhead. China buying up American farmland. Leading the fight, Congressman Dusty Johnson, a member of a special committee to fight China. Dusty Johnson backed legislation to stop China from buying our farmland and authored a bill to let states end investments in Chinese companies. From our ports to our prairies, Congressman Dusty Johnson will always put America first.
I'm Dusty Johnson, and I approve this message.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
Abortion is a sensitive subject, and there are lots of opinions on what to do. Some say South Dakota's law may need to be changed, but Amendment G is not the answer. Amendment G is vague and poorly written. It makes getting an abortion easier, allows for late-term abortion, and gives minors the ability to have an abortion without their parents' consent. Our current laws may need to be changed, but Amendment G is too extreme.
Who would force a woman who's been raped or a victim of incest to give birth? What kind of monster would deny a pregnant woman proper medical care? That's exactly what the politicians in Pierre did. They passed a cruel and extreme law banning and criminalizing abortion. Tell the politicians you simply want to return to the safe and sensible law we had in America for the last 50 years.
Weather with meteorologist Per Lundquist.
Now, I'm sure there's someone out there that's screaming, hey, what's going on with the Elk Fire? You stopped talking about that. We'll take a look at Sheridan. All this snow sitting on the front range of the Bighorns, blanketing the Elk Fire. They are at 88% containment right now, so making clean work of this. This snow has helped a lot, and they're expected to get more as we go through the weekend. 49 degrees over there in Sheridan right now. A little bit chillier, feels like 47 over there with some appreciable wind, 24 miles per hour, but humidity is nice at 44%. Nice and comfortable. Nice and good for fires. In terms of futurecasts, nothing right now. Pretty clear. And then as we go into tomorrow, that's kind of going to stay the same. Might get some clouds here or there, but generally it's going to be a sunny day. And when you have sunny days like this, sun can punch right through it. We're going to have an easy time to warm things up quite a bit. Going to see temperatures maybe 8 to 10 degrees above normal. As we go into Sunday, then we start to see some shower activity over here in Rapid City. Good deal of showers over in the Bighorns with some snow. Could see 1 inch to 3 inches over there with probably better activity as we go into Tuesday, but a lot better for that fire that's going on over there. And then here's where that frontal system I mentioned earlier is coming through. That's the brunt of it. Areas of Wall, Phillip, anywhere along that north-south line, they might see some areas that are, you could see 1/4 of an inch, mostly likely to be less than 1/10 of an inch for many areas. As we go on, that kind of spread itself out, and it looks like it's pretty active over there. The Weather Service is toying with the idea of putting a few thunderstorms over in that area, but personally, I'm not seeing a lot of energy in the system. It's there, but it's not very strong. So I'm kind of hesitant on saying that there's going to be thunderstorms in the area as of now. But in terms of humidity, that's what I'm excited about. 100% across the board over on that north-south line. That would be indicative of fog, and while it is stable over there, I'm kind of hesitant on whether we're going to get fog or not. Not throwing it out of the ideal pool. There is a possibility you might see some early morning fog, but mainly it's going to be kind of drizzly over there. You might see some drizzle out in the distance that will reduce your visibility, so still be careful on the roads, but this humidity is much better than we have been seeing it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at what mechanisms is driving these storms. This is what the current jet stream up in the higher elevations looks right now. And here's the big trough that was coming through, and Brant has been mentioning about how there's a trough coming through. Here's what it looks like on the upper air charts, big U-shaped feature there, and that's bringing the rain over into the Pacific Northwest. As we go into Sunday, and now it looks like Monday, but it's the same mechanism that's driving the rain on Sunday. Now that trough is much stronger, much deeper, covering the entire central part of the United States. And you get this big push to the jet stream right here where that cold front's going to be. Down below, you get all this flow coming in from the Gulf, bringing in moisture. Where those two things collide, you're going to get some appreciable rain showers. That peters off before we get a little bit more activity as we go through Tuesday with much colder air going through the area. And you can definitely see that here on the temperature outlook. With that trough moving through, those two troughs that you just saw coming through, much of the western United States is going to be colder than average. We're still seeing above average temperatures on the outlook right now, but what I'm seeing is it's on average, if not slightly below average, for the next week or so. As we go on to the next 2 weeks, then we start to see another trough start to redevelop. You see that big temperature gradient from west to east. That's going to bring a little bit more activity to our area, maybe some more rain as we go into the middle parts of November. And looking at rain for the precipitation outlook, looking a lot better as those troughs come through. And then as we go into the middle part of November, it's a lot better for much of the country. Going to bring a lot of drought recovery to the area. Probably not going to see much change in terms of drought conditions, but right now it's looking better in terms of recovery. As we go through to tomorrow with those sunny skies, going to see 10 degrees above average. And then once that front comes through, going to see some average temps, and especially for the rest of the week. 53 on Sunday with some pretty breezy conditions. Could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour, which is a bit of concern. And then as we go through the later parts of the week after Election Day, we're just seeing below average temperatures once again. Aaron.
Well, coming up when NewsCenter1 returns, a slower than expected jobs report. We'll have the details when NewsCenter1 returns. Stay tuned.
Amendment F. So vague and confusing, it's a disaster.
A family forced to put kids in expensive childcare to keep their health care.
A cancer patient fighting for her life, required to work during treatment.
An adult caring for elderly parents forced to report work hours to the government.
Confusing and unclear. They fall through the cracks. Too much bureaucracy. Too extreme.
No on Amendment F.
Where does the money opposing South Dakota's Referred Law 21 come from? A left-wing New York City group, radicals who want open borders, and Jane Fonda's Climate PAC. Yeah, the same radical Jane Fonda you remember. They all oppose President Trump's plan to expand American energy. But South Dakota can lead us forward. RL 21 opens new markets for our ethanol and supports Trump's America First energy agenda. Vote yes on RL 21. Vote yes for a strong South Dakota is responsible for the content of this ad.
What would you do with $500? If you are a local area school teacher, we want to know. NewsCenter1 and First Interstate Bank have teamed up for 1+1, a program where twice a month we give away $500 to a deserving teacher with special projects or needs to help cover expenses outside their budget. From extra books to technology, 1+1 is putting educational tools into the hands of educators. To learn more or to apply to nominate a teacher, go to newscenter1.tv.
KNB and NewsCenter1 supports programming with the significant purpose of serving the educational needs of children ages 16 and under. An annual report on the children's programming aired on the station is filed and available to view at fcc.gov.
Counterfeit prescription pills laced with fentanyl are killing our kids by the thousands across the nation. The pills look safe. Can you tell which one is real? Drug dealers are pushing these deadly pills on your kids' social media. It only takes one pill to kill. And it did. You can help stop the fentanyl epidemic. Talk to your kids about the dangers of counterfeit prescription pills. Visit onepillkilled.org.
October was a good month for the regional economy. For the 5th time this year, the Mid-America Business Index showed economic growth for the 9-state region with a reading of 51.1. Anything above 50 indicates economic growth. Even South Dakota, which had several consecutive months of below 50 readings, edged just slightly above 50.4. The challenge for the region is that it hasn't been able to string together consecutive months of growth. Survey Director Ernie Gose of Creighton University says inflation pressures have eased, so he expects the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates by 0.25% at their meeting next week. But he says long-term rates, including mortgages, are moving in the other direction.
I expect those long-term rates to continue to move higher, and we're going to see mortgage rates approach 7%, and of course that's going to put a little dent in the housing, and we'll see that housing sales, home sales.
The economic growth is continuing despite employment numbers that continue to fall. October's employment index reading was down to 44.2. Despite that, the business confidence index was up sharply in October, and it's still below neutral at 47.1. But that's way up from September's 26.2. The final jobs report before Election Day showed slower than expected growth in October, with just 12,000 jobs being added. Economics had predicted last month's hurricanes and labor strikes would impact the data, and it did. October's numbers fell far below the expected gain of 112,000 jobs. The unemployment rate held steady, however, at 4.1%. Friday's jobs report is the last piece of economic data to be released before Election Day. Well, stocks rallied Friday to kick off November as traders looked past that disappointing jobs report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 288 points to close at 42,052. The S&P up of 23 points to end the day at 5728. And the Nasdaq tacking on 144 points to close at 18,239. And with Halloween in the rear view, retailers are looking ahead to the winter holidays and hoping to muster up some magic. This comes amid challenges this year between the 10th presidential election and the shortened holiday shopping season. Lee Waldman is in New York. Lee, even with these obstacles, there's high expectations for big box stores.
While parents are picking away at their children's Halloween candy castaways, retailers are working to get ready for the holiday shopping season.
We have always seen that the winter holidays have been central to both consumers and to the retail industry. This year is certainly no exception.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says they expect shoppers to spend a record $902 per person on average this year on seasonal items like gifts, food, decorations, and cards. That's up $27 from last year.
Celebrations and these special moments throughout the year have really become a priority for them, even when things are tough.
Every year, consumers are faced with stressors, but this year, the NRF asked if the election was factoring into shopping habits. For most, the answer was no, but some are looking for retail therapy.
If anything, they might be looking to holiday shopping as a little bit of an escape.
Meanwhile, retailers themselves are up against a shorter time clock with 5 fewer calendar days this year between Thanksgiving and Christmas to entice customers.
We know that many consumers will have started browsing or buying, at least doing some of their research, even before November, while the bulk of spending really does still kick off in November or December.
Even with the shortened time frame, the NRF expects holiday shopping to grow between 2.5% and 3.5% from last year, totaling between a whopping $979.5 billion and $989 billion. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Well, coming up after the break, historians are trying to find the use of a mystery machine in Dorchester County. Well, the details when we return.
Stay tuned to get this free 5-piece Ultra Non-Stick Bakeware set from Gotham Steel. Yours free. That's right, absolutely free. Is your cookware scratched inside and an eyesore on the outside, ruining your kitchen's appearance? Well, get ready to upgrade your cookware to this beautiful hammered design. Introducing Gotham Steel Hammered Cream Cookware. Forged with an authentic hammered design, engineered with extremely strong titanium and tri-coated with ultra non-stick ceramic. The elegant hammered texture design will look gorgeous in your kitchen and even better on the table. Style is just the start because Gotham Steel features double the non-stick release. Food simply will not stick, and it wipes clean with ease. Now you can cook healthier without all the butter, fat, or oil.
I just love this hammered look. It fits my kitchen perfectly. All I can say is wow.
Gotham Steel is designed to deliver totally uniform cooking, even in the oven up to 500 degrees. And it's dishwasher safe. Upgrade the look of your kitchen and cook with double the nonstick release with Gotham Steel Hammered Cream.
I've never had a cookware set that looks so beautiful. Plus, it's non-stick. Can't go wrong with that.
Other hammered cookware sells for over $500, but get the complete Gotham Steel Hammered Cream 10-piece set for just 5 easy payments of $49.99. But hold everything. Order right now and we'll drop one payment. So it's only 4 easy payments of $49.99. Plus, you'll also get this 5-piece Gotham Steel bakeware set, the fast, easy, ultra non-stick way to bake your favorite desserts. That's a $60 value. Yours 100% free. Plus, free shipping on everything. So your first payment of $49.99 is all it takes to get this huge 15-piece set shipped free right to your door. Response has been overwhelming, so order now.
To order, call 1-800-431-0417. That's 1-800-431-0417, or go to hammeredcream.com. So call 1-800-431-0417 or order online at hammeredcream.com.
Historians in Dorchester County, Maryland have a mysterious machine on their hands. It's an old motorized machine that's been sitting in storage for several decades. As Lauren Miller reports, researchers are asking the public to help identify the machine's purpose.
Here is what the Dorchester County Historical Society knows. It is motorized with 2 of what is believed to be rolling pins spinning, and its countertop is ceramic. But what it actually is, or what it was used for, is raising suspicion with the Society's executive director, Zoe Phillips.
So we think that it is something that has been here since the 90s.
She says it could be around 100 years old, minus the motor, of course. But where did it come from? Records show a similar contraption was a gift from the Rehoboth Beach Historical Society.
And I was wondering if I could ask someone some questions about an old artifact we have.
But no pictures prove the exact donation. And as they wait for an answer, one idea, however, comes to mind.
We potentially think it is a Maryland beaten biscuit maker, created by a man who was trying to help his aunt with the business, and the belief is that this would have helped beat the air out of the dough as the biscuits were being created.
According to Phillips, Maryland beaten biscuits were a well-known and unique food because they were originally beaten with an axe on an old tree stump.
So it is very unusual in its history of how it was made, and this would have been a far stretch from that, but it would have served the same purpose and gotten it done in a more industrialized way.
Yet they are still asking the public what this could be.
Well, Phillips noted there was once a beaten biscuit bakery in Cambridge, which further suggests a local connection. And coming up, we have a final look at our weekend forecast, so stay with us, everyone.
Do with $500. If you are a local area school teacher, we want to know. NewsCenter1 and First Interstate Bank have teamed up for 1+1, a program where twice a month we give away $500 to a deserving teacher with special projects or needs to help cover expenses outside their budget. From extra books to technology, 1+1 is putting educational tools into the hands of educators. To learn more or to apply to nominate a teacher, go to newscenter1.tv.
As we naturally age, many people are getting zero amount of this incredible and unique substance. That's when we start seeing an impact in our joints, skin, nails, and even our digestion.
Hi, Dr. Axe here, and I am so excited to introduce you to Ancient Nutrition's multi-collagen protein.
People's reactions to me, people were like, what are you doing? You look amazing, you have a glow about you. I've been using multi-collagen now for a little over 2 years. I just put a scoop in my coffee every morning, and some days I'll even do 2 because it's so good. We want to grow old gracefully, right? Scowls and crow's feet and things that nature puts in us. I'd like to slow that down as much as possible.
Call the number on your screen to take advantage of this very special offer. Buy 2 bottles and get 1 free with your preferred customer order. Call the number on your screen now.
Citizenship.
It's about doing your patriotic duty, which is why only American citizens should be allowed to vote and why every citizen should vote. That's the core principle behind Amendment H. It puts all the candidates on one primary ballot. Then, the top 2 finishers face off in November. Yes on H. Protect the right of every citizen to vote in taxpayer-funded elections. United America Bank is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Pet of the Week brought to you by South Dakota Overhead Doors.
Welcome back to Pet of the Week. I'm here with Cassie and Nova, this sweet little girl. She's quite energetic too, actually. Tell me a little bit about Nova.
So Nova is a 4-year-old boxer bulldog mix, very energetic. She's got kind of 3 legs, but she's great at hopping around. She's actually very strong and very fast for having 3 legs that she walks on. She's a really good girl. She loves treats. Right, girl? That's it?
Oh, yeah.
Good
Look
girl.
at her.
Yeah. She's very good, very strong, but we don't really recommend her going home with kids just because of her tendency to get a little nippy, a little excited about things.
How would someone go about to meet Nova and schedule an appointment?
Yeah, so they can give us a call, or they can just stop in, check her out in her kennel, and meet her in an appointment.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Cassie. Thank you, Nova. We're going to play with her a little bit. Thank you for joining us for Pet of the Week. We'll see you back next week.
You know, every year I feel, or every time there's daylight savings, I feel like pets never really know what's going on, and they start looking for the food about 1 hour before you normally feed them. You go, no, we still got daylight savings time we got to worry about.
Generally, yeah, I like how they freak out during eclipses. Yeah, they're really prone to the time a little bit. Yeah. Well, looking at the futurecasting, a little bit of a closer look, you do see some thin clouds up in the northern hills, and that might actually produce some fog as we go through tomorrow morning and Saturday into Sunday as well. As we go through Sunday, this is the big ticket item. That big frontal system is going to come by over in the wall area, and that's going to grow and maybe produce some thunderstorms, but really it's going to be a lot more moisture in the area. Could see some light fog, but mainly some drizzle over in that area. And with that, that's kind of where we're sitting at. So that frontal system is going to sweep through Sunday, going to bring us a small chance of showers for Sunday, but mainly it's going to be windy, 40-mile-per-hour gusts in some areas. And then as that finally passes through, we go into some average temperatures. Might even see below average highs for the later portions of next week. Aaron.
Well, Connect with Us is just around the corner. News Center 1 continues at 10, and we're always on at nc1.tv. Enjoy your evening, everyone.
I became a teacher because I loved helping kids learn. What I don't love is the idea of teachers counseling teenage girls on whether or not they should have an abortion. With Amendment G, teachers can advise young girls on abortion options without their parents' consent. As a teacher, that's a burden I wouldn't want. As a mother, it makes me angry that I might not know. The law may need to be changed, but Amendment G is too extreme.
The politicians in Pierre passed a cruel and extreme law that bans and criminalizes abortion.
A woman should not be forced to have a baby if she's been raped.
The politicians are lying about Amendment G. G allows parental consent and bans late-term abortions except to save the mother.
A family and her physician should be making reproductive decisions, not politicians in Pierre.
Vote yes for Freedom Amendment G.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
It's really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kitchen now.